my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the comic collector geek, and this is the hottest Silver Age comics of the week. And I'm joined with Mark from Suddenly Comics, and we are the Price Variants, where we're going to look at the coolest books of the week from Heritage Auctions, and hopefully, it's a good week.
There's some crackers on here, Alan. You picked some great ones for me.
I picked a lot of really cool books. There was a lot of really interesting ones. The first one I think you'll like, but it's not a good
I know
price.
I like it. Yeah.
It wasn't a great price,
Oh, I've
but
gone for
it
the wrong
was a
place. So
cool. The first,
it's a creepy world. It's an Alan Class creepy worlds, Alan.
yeah, I mean, I've never seen this cover before, and it's quite pretty. I've never seen this
All right, I'll
cover at
tell you where
all.
that's from. Because I obviously collect this and I collect the
Hmm.
series that's from. That is from the Gold Key. Um, oh, uh,
Base something.
no. Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's the
okay, it's
Gold
a
Key
very
Flash
cool cover.
Gordon, and that is an Alex Raymond cover.
Wow, very cool. I mean, I like the cover. I like the good girl space helmety thing going on. Pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
the Gold Key Flash Gordon run is fantastic. It's got
Wow.
Alex Raymond and Al Williamson art.
I might look into that because I would have bought this. I didn't realize that this had it was so cheap. This was a steal in my opinion. But
Well, this was a complete steal. So the price on this is ridiculous. So I mean, if you're in the UK, it'll cost you $40, 40 pounds. It'll cost you
just
about this
to
to get that
grade it,
slab.
yeah.
So you're basically getting the comic for free. If I'd seen this, I'd have bought it. I have bought a couple of what if some advice to people out there, if you're trying to sell slabbed Alan Class comics, do not put them on Heritage.
Oh, okay.
I have picked up a couple of really cheap slabbed Alan Class comics because the heritage buyers just want to buy what they know. If you put something up they don't
Hmm.
know, it doesn't go for any money.
So the opposite would be true then, where you could say, "Hey, if you're trying to buy these books, go
Yeah,
to Heritage,
go to
and
heritage.
hopefully you'll find them."
I would definitely have bought this. This is worth, if A, that is in really good condition for an Alan
I
Class.
okay, from my experience, and I have like a small Allen class
Yeah.
collection. I'm
No.
not your level. They're always beat to death.
Yeah.
Like it's like somebody goes out and actually beats these comics before people actually get them. They're so beaten up. I usually they're in like a high grade for me, I think is like a 3 or 4.
Oh, right. Well, okay. So I do collect higher grade ones. I mean, I have got a 7.5 graded,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
7.5 graded the first appearance of Vision. Um,
That's very cool. I
yeah.
mean, this is such a great cover. Seriously.
And it does, and it some of these, and I've pointed this out a number of times to people, is that sometimes these covers actually look better on the Allen Class than they do in the
Well, you
original.
said they go a little wider,
Yeah,
right?
because they're the original Golden Age size. So the artists were drawing on full boards, but then on on the normal ones you didn't get the full width, whereas on Alan
Hmm.
Class you get the full width. And sometimes it means the Alan Class comic looks a lot better. I showed one of the Stiltman covers on an
Yeah.
Alan Class the other on Instagram, and made the point that it looks a lot better on the Alan Class because you get that extra width, and therefore with the perspective of Stiltman works better. And this one looks great. I've got this,
This
but
one
it's in
looks very
nowhere
cool.
near as good condition as this.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty awesome. I imagine this is fairly rare. Am I
Yeah,
wrong in
yeah,
saying
no,
that?
all the Allen classes are fairly rare. And, if you compare them to Marvel and DC, yes, you're gonna, there isn't any census for these. So, the probably, you know, 20 or 30 copies, and in this sort of condition, probably less than 10. I
Wow.
mean, not graded. There's not hardly any. This will be the only graded one of these. Um,
Hmm.
I'm talking about probably in existence. Because they were for kids. They got taken on holiday, they got rolled up, they got sat on, they got, and for the longest period of time, they were worth nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, uh, there is sort of a discrimination against British comics in general from American buyers.
Yes, I
They
mean,
have not forgiven the Revolutionary War.
no.
So,
Well, there are some collectors in the States, very few. Most there is an Alan Class Facebook page, and there's quite a lot of collectors on there. There are some
mhm.
really avid collectors of Alan Class, and in fact, there's just been a fundraiser. I'm just waiting for my book to arrive, which is
Oh,
all
okay.
about Alan Class. Alan himself is still alive. He is
Oh,
90.
wow.
He's 92.
Wow.
And he's still all there, and he's just signed. He will have signed my latest copy of the book about Alan Class comics, which I'm
Oh,
waiting
nice.
for to arrive.
You'll
Uh,
have to send me the link and I'll maybe get a copy myself.
yeah, I think you might be too late for the fundraiser, but yeah,
No.
I'll try and find a link for you. I mean, it's not expensive.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. I mean, overall, there are about 1,000 different Alan Class comics.
Okay.
So, it's a fair old, and you need a lot of detective work to work out when they were published because he didn't put any dates on them.
Yeah. 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 But was it the situation where he was printing like multiple printings and
Yeah,
yet
and he didn't do a huge number of printings. He did occasionally do maybe two or three, but he did reuse covers. So what you'll find is you'll find this cover on issue 99, for instance, and then you'll find it on 172.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, so he did reprint covers. So you can go through so your Alan Clark go, hang on a minute, I just saw that cover 30 issues ago, and yes, it's there. So
Okay.
I tend to collect. So this is pre-decimalization. So this is pre-1971 when when we changed our currency, and you can tell that because it's got a shilling mark just there. So let's
Nice.
have a look at
Okay.
the date. What date do they say on this? No date. Yeah, exactly. So none of them do, but I can tell you this.
Actually, did you notice that it says US edition?
No, it says UK edition.
Oh, UK. Okay, sorry. It was small. It looked like US. I was like, oh my goodness. UK edition.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, this is not this is the other Flash Gordon artist.
It's
It's not
Macroboy.
Al Williamson or Alex Raymond. It's Mac Raboy. That's right.
Yeah.
There are three of them. Yeah, this is Max Raboy, who's also excellent.
Yeah, he's great. He did a lot of the faucet covers.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything where we can compare this to
Right. So
others?
there's nothing on Go Collect. What I have done, I couldn't find another one of these, but I did put on eBay. I put in Alan Class graded, so you can see the raw copies of these. It depends what's in them. If they've got marquee Marvel stuff in them, then
Then they're
they're a
more
lot more
expensive,
expensive. There
obviously.
you go.
Like, yeah,
Somebody's got
yeah,
a Creepy Worlds 36, which is the first Doom.
yeah. Obviously, that's going to go for more.
Well, that's at 6.5, and somebody's trying to sell that for 1,800. He won't.
Yeah, that's a bit much. I don't think anyone will pay that much
No,
for an
and
Allen
it's somebody
class.
in the United States who's trying to sell it.
Hmm.
That's too much. I think he would get 8 or 900 for it.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, there's not many. There's one here, another one. Somebody's trying their luck with this one. This is Creepy Worlds 100, reprints the first appearance of Merlin.
Okay.
Somebody's trying that on. That's probably worth about 100 quid, maybe.
Okay.
But you never know. Somebody might pay that.
Hmm.
You know what eBay's like.
Yeah, I mean, eBay,
Oh, there's
sometimes
the
you,
raw copy. Oh no, that's a DVD ROM.
yeah,
Um,
I hate when they do that. I hate when they mix those in.
yeah, yeah. They see
I
there you
searched
go.
for
There's a,
some Golden Age thing and it's like,
that's more usual. So you've got Creepy Worlds 120, um, Silver Surfer, Shalabal on the cover,
mhm.
£14. That's about right. And it's not in as good condition as the one we've got. It's got a bit of this Alan Class curl. So these
So
square bound books, I think it's due to the uneven drying of the glue in the spine, and
is there,
they get a curl on them.
Is there any case where you get like an Alan class cover that is not
Yeah, you do. I've got some really high grade ones, which are completely.
that are completely unique to Alan class?
Yes, there are right. So the ones I can immediately think of is something called Ali Sloper. So
Okay.
he produced. So Ali Sloper is one of the oldest British comic characters from about the 1880s.
Okay.
And in about the mid sort of early 1970s, Alan joined up with a UK comics historian, who I'm going to say was called Gifford. And they just started doing a new Ali Sloper comic, which was
Hmm.
original stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it only lasted 4 issues. Thousand Allen class comics, of which only four are original material. The rest is all reprints from mainly from the American comics in the 50s and 60s.
Okay. I was curious if there was any unique covers. That's why. Okay.
No, I think they're all um,
So
copies.
so this one probably, probably should have sold for around $100, I would say, based on what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, that would be a fair price in my view. Somebody's got this at a ridiculously cheap price.
Hmm.
This is not the place to sell these.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
No,
I mean,
no,
something to look
no.
for
This would
if
have
you're going
sold
here.
to a this for that you could have sold that to a UK collector for probably 70 or 80 pounds.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Although most of the UK collectors I know are raw collectors.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I have got about seven or eight slabbed Allen Class, mainly because I wanted to have one of ones because nobody else
Yeah, it's
slabs
cool
them.
to have it the 101 on census. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Right,
Okay.
let's move on from that. We are next going to another great one, a Bronze Age horror comic,
Yeah.
Chamber of Darkness #1.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. High grade too. So
Very high grade, yeah.
again, you don't usually see these Bronze Age, not this is actually Silver Age.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Silver Age,
it's just
Silver
Silver
Age,
Age. It's
Silver
19,
Age horror. I mean, it's very end of the Silver Age.
it's right on the
This
crossover.
is what leads to the Bronze Age horror, really.
Yeah. Well, both
Um,
Marvel and DC started up a load of horror anthology titles in 1969.
yeah, yeah.
So House of Mystery changed to a horror anthology title just before this.
I
House of
think the code was
Secrets.
kind of weakening at this point, where
Yeah,
they're kind of like pushing it a bit
yeah,
more.
yeah. Witching Hour starts in 69. So there's a whole bunch of them stand, and this is Marvel's response. Marvel came out with two horror anthology series in 1969, Chamber of Darkness and Tower of Shadows, I think it's
Hmm.
called. And they both only lasted 9 issues.
Okay, so it didn't do that well.
Well,
I
they
mean,
then renamed them and started them again as Chamber of Secrets, I think,
mhm.
and Tower. Anyway, so yeah, so this only lasts 9 issues. It's a John Romita cover,
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
great cover. And actually, I think, I did a review of these. This didn't really work for Marvel. Um, DC remained the king of the horror anthologies, really.
Hmm.
And part of the
Yeah,
problem
I
was I
think of
think
House of Secrets, all those ones
House of
that did really
Mystery, yeah,
House of
Witching
Mystery.
Hour,
Yeah,
Weird War Tales.
yeah.
Um, so this character here, I think he's called Smedley P. Gravely or something like that. So he's
Hmm.
a sort of undertaker who, he acts as the sort of host, like you've got
Hmm.
Cain and Abel doing House of Secrets, House of Mystery.
Yeah.
They've got this guy who's nobody had ever heard of him before, and I don't think we ever see him again after the 9 issues.
Yeah. He's kind of Abe Lincoln like
It
in
does,
terms of
yeah,
his
yeah,
look.
but he's an undertaker, so Um, and is this the one, or is it Tower of Shadows? the first story is actually a Steranko.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
So these are actually quite good. I've read both. I've read this, and actually, it's a really good read. They really made an effort at this. They brought out the big guns, you know,
Well, I mean, it's strength. Ramita cover.
a Ramita cover, Don Heckart inside,
Yeah, big
John
names and
Buscema, Tom
yeah,
Sutton. I mean, it's this is really good.
yeah.
Quality is excellent. It's a much better quality overall than the later Marvel horror anthology ones.
Okay. So yeah, so very cool.
Anyway, 9.4. Um, it's okay. It's up here somewhere. It's a bit up and down, this one. $180 is about it's
Yeah, this
reasonable.
one's like all kind of all over the place. So what is that peak sale, for
That would have
example?
been COVID, I think.
Yeah, what is
Oh
it
no,
though?
it's not COVID. September 2023, 266.
Okay, so it's down from that weird peak one,
Yeah. It's
but it looks
still,
like this one's kind of all over the place. Actually, it looks like there's an earlier peak like 10 years ago. What's that
yeah,
one
I
from?
know. To 328 in April
But that's
2004.
adjusted dollars. What's the actual price?
Oh, 195.
Okay. So yeah. So this book hasn't really performed that well. I think it's a title that people just don't know. Um, you know,
Yeah, I mean, Marvel's not famous for its horror anthology titles.
mhm. I mean, what's the census count for this book?
Um, 301.
Actually, quite high, considering. I'm
Wow.
like,
I mean, when we talk about Marvel, 301 is
I
quite,
know it's not that many,
it is a number one as well.
but my point is, the reason I say considering it's one of those things where it's not that expensive to at a high grade. So the
No,
only time you're going to get it graded is if it's like above like maybe an 8.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's in that sort of category, isn't it? Let's have a look. Most of them are going to be high grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's hardly not many low grades. The average grade is a median grade is a 9.4. Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
only going to get this graded if you're 9.0 plus.
Yeah. So okay. Um what's next?
Next up,
Another
and I
fun
said this
one.
was a good list for me, Alan, because I actually picked this up in a
Okay.
200 comic lot that I bought for £1.50 a comic. In it was Chili number one.
Oh, nice. I actually have this book. I picked up a bunch of Good Girl ones. I thought this one was pretty cool. So,
Yeah, so I paid
I
£1.50 for my copy of this.
yeah,
And
I didn't pay much either, but mine's low grade. It's not a 9.2.
mine's not bad. I think mine's probably a 7.75.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Um, it's not a 9.2,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
this is Marvel trying to do Archie, I presume.
Yes. Yes, it is. But Marvel actually, had its Good Girl era. It actually produced a lot of Good Girl comics. But this is much more close to uh like like Archie and maybe Cheryl Blossom,
Yeah, and Sabrina.
maybe. Millie's redheaded rival.
Yeah,
So, who did the cover? Is it Stan Goldberg?
Stan Goldberg.
Yeah, nice.
You told me to bring my best friend. Yeah, it's definitely the 1960s, Alan.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Like
Yeah, 69. It's the same date as the previous
the
one.
chamber, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So number one in a 9.2, $204 sounds quite a lot to me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's so
It's all like all over the place.
yeah, it's like the last one.
I
Uh,
think it's
two,
just that these don't sell that often, so you don't get a proper.
Yeah, this is
So,
not a very common. This is sold 4 times in 4 years.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, it doesn't sell very often. Nice
So
comic
it's
though.
sort of like I would say it's sort of a flat trend line
Yeah, it is
because if
flat.
you
So
kind
it's
of,
like the last one. So it sold for $249 in 2020, and it sold for $204 now.
mhm,
Again, it's
okay.
not a well-known title.
Yeah,
How many issues did it run for?
not that many, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Let's have a look. Oh, look,
How many on the census? Like less than 100 on the
it's
census. Yeah.
26 issues.
Okay. If you think about that, that's like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, it's not too bad, I guess.
56.
56 on the census. Okay, cool.
Again, you're only going to get this graded if it's high grade, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at the third comic. Oh,
I love this one. When I saw it, I was like, oh wow, I love this book.
now the last time.
I probably bought it at the wrong time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think this one is now like in that nice price range.
It's a beautiful comic. The last time you showed this, Alan, I said I hadn't got it, and it was been on my want list for some time. I'm delighted
Mhm.
to say that about 3 weeks ago, I bought one of these. It's a
What
it's a,
grade?
it's a raw 7.5, I think.
Oh, very nice.
Um, yeah. Showcase presents number 79. It's always Showcase 79. First appearance of Dolphin. Beautiful
Okay,
cover.
cool.
It's a cover buy, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dolphin had some I was gonna say some legs and then it
Hey,
kind of
you've
would
got some
be a
legs. They're
bit of a
very
jump
long,
there.
Alan.
Yeah, but she was kind of rumored to marry Aquaman. So, it was one of those things, right?
Who the heck is J. Scott Pike?
Oh, really? You don't know him? He's a
No, I
very
don't know.
talented artist. Some of his Golden Age covers go for huge money.
That's why I don't know, because he's Golden Age.
He's Golden Age, but he went right into the modern era.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. This is the only one of his covers I know now.
Yeah, he's quite talented.
Well, it's a great cover. Yeah, so I have one of these raw. I need to clean and press it, and I'll probably send it off for grading.
Yeah. This is a one that you really want to display. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
cover. It's
yeah. And it's a cover buy. There's no reason to read the comic.
mhm.
Right.
Okay.
So
So how
how
did it
did this do,
perform?
Alan?
Six hundred
$600.
dollars for a
Oh,
9.0.
sounds all right. Oh, look at this one, Alan. We don't seen a graph like this for a long time.
Oh, it actually looks like it's kind of steadily going up. I
Yes.
thought it would have been down.
No. Look at this. In 2013, this was worth $71.
Wow.
Since then, steady rise, a small COVID peak,
Uh-huh.
but fairly steady around the $700 mark.
Nice. So not a like a new record or anything, but still like a strong
Yeah,
sale.
but it's
Like
not
it's
actually
showing that,
far off. The record being 750. Uh,
yeah.
so
So it's actually down 20% of the record if you think
yeah,
about it.
but from COVID peak,
I know, I know.
that's
But
actually quite strong. That's quite strong. There's not many comics we look at that are
yeah, where like
80%
to
of
me this is a
COVID.
good trend line actually.
Yeah.
Um, but you look at the census on it, it's probably not that high. Even though even in low grades, this one does get graded.
522.
Yeah. I mean, compare like that's
Well,
fairly
compared
low.
to Chile number one, that's 10 times as many.
Yeah, yeah. But this gets graded at pretty much every grade.
Yeah, because
You know what I mean? Like,
you want to present it well in a nice slab.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So very cool.
Yeah. So I'm
Is
pleased.
that five? I think that's five.
No, that's three. That's four. There's one more.
One more. Okay. Oh yes. This book I was eluding me for the longest time. I recently picked this book up, maybe
Oh,
like
okay.
5 months ago or four
Yeah.
months ago. It's like a reasonably recent. Um, this is the first Thing meets Hulk, you know, um,
Well, they haven't quite
comic.
met. One of them's Hulk's hiding, and the thing has to see.
They don't
Hulk and
actually
Thing
fight in this
almost
one. I
meet.
don't. What?
They haven't
It's
met on
the
the cover.
Well, it's their first meeting in comics, is
Yes,
my
they don't,
point.
don't fight, I don't think, do they?
No, they don't. It's later on that they do, though.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic, Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
A 5.5. That's a pretty reasonable grade for this one.
Yes. Yeah.
And 1,260.
Hmm.
Sounds low.
Sounds low to me because I know this book. It's a
Oh,
pretty pricey book.
well, yeah. It's now's the time to buy it. Peaked at nearly $3,000.
Yeah. What was the pre-COVID price?
Pre-COVID price. Well, there's some strange peak here. It must have been I could say
Probably a
pre-COVID
Fantastic
price of
Four announcement or something.
2,900. Um, because that's pre-COVID.
Wow. So this is one of those ones where, it has some weird peaks early on. I'm not sure why, but there is a trend line. This kind of looks like it's on the trend line, and there's just
Yeah,
these
you could almost
random
draw a
weird
line
peaks.
through up here with a nice straight, if you go
Yeah,
start back here and put your ruler over it and connected that point with that point, it would be quite a nice little trending graph.
yeah, and then you have these weird little peaks that you can almost ignore. Like somebody overpaid, especially during COVID, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as with a lot of comics, this is still, I'm going to claim that as the pre-COVID price. So I think this is still
Yeah,
well above pre-COVID.
that's what I would say too. I was actually like just so people know, we are actually going to record two videos today, and one of the ones was a spec that we were kind of looking into. So I was kind of looking at all these Silver Age books as like potential spec
Yeah,
related keys,
yeah,
and I was actually like surprised how many are still above the pre-COVID prices. Now we think, oh man, the market is completely dead and it's fallen 1,000,000%, but that just shows you how high things went during COVID. Things are actually still up over the pre-COVID price. I mean, not adjusting for inflation, maybe, but still technically above what they were selling
yeah. I
for
mean, there's a
before
few
COVID.
with underwater. I mean, we looked at one
But
last week, the first Kang.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, okay, sure. If you give me a example of like a really bad spec, sure. That one went underwater. But I was looking at like ones that I would say are strong specs, like Amazing Fantasy, Fantastic Four #1, X-Men #1. This book would be another one
Yeah,
where they sort of have steadily gone up. They held their own, even though you get those weird peaks. For the most part, they did well. Um, Now on your list, we're going to be looking at some more of these kind of books, but bigger ones. These are um we'll see how well what I just said holds true. Do they actually stay on that trend line
well,
or
we've
are
got
they way
Hulk
off this?
one coming up, and on my list, we'll have to see how that does,
Yes.
because that must fall
Yeah.
into
So
that
there's
category.
some really big ones. So everyone that's watching this video, go over to check out Mark's part and you'll see some pretty cool books. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now.
Yes.